Thank you, Nupur ma'am. Thank you, Deependra sir, and my fellow panel member and my dear students. Uh, I'll be talking about general perception of a budget, few things about important aspect of the budget which normally are not talked about much in your mainstream media. And then, as we have discussed, I'll be talking about something related to provision in the budget with reference to education sector. We know that, okay, given the time constraint, four of us, we have decided that we'll speak for around 10 or 12 minutes, and we want to keep certain time, especially for the discussions or addressing the queries that you may have. So to start with, when you talk of this current budget, the current budget has for the first time presented in a situation which is not the regularly expected kind of environment. We all know the pandemic, the kind of life that we have witnessed for around 9 months or so. And this pandemic has adversely affected entire world. World is into kind of a recession situations, and the kind of the economic environment was altogether different. So for a budget making people, the authorities of finance department, chief economic advisors, and all those people, the preparing budget itself was a bigger challenge. And it was like selecting a path. You have two broad path when you work in this kind of situation. One, you focus on growth budget, and second, you focus on distribution budget. It's like whether you should focus on distribution of cake or pie to the people, or you think about increasing the size of pie itself. And within these two options, the option chosen by present government was growth. So when you look at this overall budget, and you may be witnessing the discussion in the medias, people are talking about this budget do not have anything for the arm army or poor people. Nothing is of that sort is there, precisely because government chose a path of a growth path. So they said focus on the growth, rest will fall in line. Now, whether it is a right or wrong approach, that time will tell us. Time will tell us. But there are few things which need to be unfolded with reference to this budget. So when you talk of the this budget is primarily focusing on certain aspect. When you look at the budget in totality, you feel like budget is more focusing on infrastructure. Okay, there is some sort of focus on banking sector or financial aspect, and then some focus on the health aspect. Okay, and infrastructure sector is the major sector which this government has selected to give a boost to. Uh, Bhupinder sir, can you mute yourself? Bhupinder sir. Yeah, thank you. So government is giving about booster dose to an economy by investing a lot of money on infrastructure sectors. And then when government is doing that, the idea is when money is pumped into infrastructure sector, whether road, railway, energy, power, and all those sectors, it will generate a demand in the market, and that demand creates a job, and then cycle continues. Okay, the other option that probably, as an economist, I was suggesting was focusing more on uh, direct income generating activities. Because when you look at the budget, the major challenges we are facing was GDP growth was declining. We said April, June quarter minus 24. Okay, again we are talking about negative growth. Next year maybe positive growth. Those are the numbers that are coming to it. So economic growth was a major challenge. Second, uh, employment was a bigger challenge. Third bigger challenge from economic perspective was lack of consumption demand. So I was expecting something which boosts the demand in the market, and that boosting could have been done by taking certain measures which directly give money to the public, like investing more on rural development, investing more on Manrega kind of schemes, investing more on poverty elevation kind of things. So that could have done maybe better than what government has thought of it. But still, as we said, something has been declared. Government chose the path of focusing more on the growth rather than a distribution aspect. So I'll be talking about few things which has to be looked out. So I'm just sharing my screen where I've created uh, a few things, not in the detail, given the time limit. Uh, yeah. So I hope screen is visible to you all. These are the 6 pillars that budget was talking about: health and well-being, physical and financial capital infrastructure, inclusive development for inspirational India, rejuvenating human capital, innovation and R&D, minimum government and maximum governance. Now, when finance minister was talking about presenting the budget, the presentation started with talking about this 6 pillar. And later on, when you look at the entire budget document, end of the presentation, looking at the budget document, you feel like many of the pillars are just talked about. Just talked about. There was not much about this. Say health and well-being, something most widely talked about. They said on the health sector, the budget has been increased by 137%. But when you look at the data, nothing of that sort has happened. It's just a number gimmick. I'll share actual data with you as well. Major focus was only on the second pillar, financial capital and infrastructure. Even for the inclusive development aspect, nothing much is there. For human capital, focus was supposed to be on education and focus would be supposed to be on health. Because on human development index 2020, we are at 131 to be precise, 131 position out of 180 odd countries. So it was a time to work upon human capital, which probably is the missing part. Research and development, nothing much is there except 10,000 this innovation fund where they allocated 60,000 crore to be spent over a period of 5 years. So nothing much is there. Governance, minimum governance, maximum governance is a motto that government is talking about since last so many years. But when you look at the ground realities, nothing of that set is happening into. Now, this is something I will not be talking much about detail because that will not take much time. Something to be highlighted here is this aspect. Something to be highlighted here is this aspect. This is the government revenue aspect. The total budget size is nearly 35 lakh crore. And you may feel like 35 lakh crore is a good number, government is spending an extra amount. But when you compare the budget size of last year, okay, it has increased just by around 4%. Okay, and even the last year, when you compare, every year budget size goes up by around 4 to 5%. This year again did the same thing. So there was nothing extra in that budget that which government is spending. But the striking part here is borrowing and other liabilities. 36% of the income out of 35 lakh crore is by borrowing. Now, when you borrow this much of money, there is going to be a lot of interest burden and repayment burden. No guidelines is given in terms of how government is planning to repay this. Okay, that's the biggest thing has to be looked into. A rest of the number, when you look at whether it's custom duties or income from corporate tax or excise duty, more or less is the same number which we have witnessed last year also. But this borrowing is something which a major cause of concern, and this has been increasing over a period of time. And outcome of this borrowing over a period of time can be witnessed in expenditure pattern of this budget itself. When you look at this expenditure pattern, okay, the something to be looked out here is this part, the highlighted one, 20%. This 20% is interest payment. So it means out of that 34,800 or 35 lakh crore that government is spending, 20% of that money goes for interest payment. This interest payment burden is going to increase further unless we have some plan to use this money or to repay this money. And when you look at the other aspect of that, centrally sponsored scheme is just a 14%. So whatever government has to play, pension is something which they have to spend. Okay, subsidy is not going to help us out, defense is not going to help us out. Only options available to me is central sector scheme. So whatever scheme you talk about, Atmanirbhar Bharat or Atmanirbhar Health Mission, whatever you call, mostly that budget is only 14%. And if you add this centrally sponsored 9%, okay, so only this 23% of the budget is really for the cause which is going to affect the people in terms of their livelihood. That is something which should be cause of concern for all of us. Second thing most widely talked about in economic survey as well as budget was we were talking about V-shaped recovery. Now, this is a graph that I've taken directly copy pasted from budget document itself. We talk of V-shaped recovery, and this graph indicate that V-shaped recovery. Graph indicate the V-shaped recovery that okay, we are here and probably will be reaching that 11.5% growth. Okay, but here something is to be done that this recovery is not particular to Indian situation. Okay, now this other graph, when you look at this, this is the world. So world GDP is again facing the same situation, V-shaped recovery. Okay, Euro area, Asian economies, all. So whether you talk of world or Asia, everybody is facing the same kind of recovery. So that V-shaped recovery is not something which is unique to India. We are going to do something extra. Rather, more important to be looked out is when we talk of this recovery, okay, we are at this point 2020 budget estimate, which is lowest among all the growth that we are comparing in. So the bottom of India is at lower side when you compare with. So we went down further below the average level when you talk of world or Euro kind of area that we're talking about. So V-shaped recovery is not the right thing to be happy about. Rather, the kind of steps budget has taken, rather than V-shaped recovery, we are moving towards recovery shape called K-shaped recovery. Now, this K-shaped recovery is some of the sector will perform well. So the budget reaction, stock market reaction to budget, when you look at those kind of script that went up, is primarily the banking sectors, infrastructure sector, and pharma sectors. So the kind of budget that is presented will result into K-shaped recovery, where there are few sectors which will grow, and there are other sectors which continue to grow down, and this will create challenges in the later period that we have. So rather than V-shaped recovery as an economics, I'll suggest is V-shaped recovery is not unique to India, and the kind of budget that we are into, we may end up with K-shaped recovery, and then again later on we need a special provision for this kind of sectors which are not given enough emphasis in the budget. That's the growth budget, so not getting into this detail. Now, when you talk of health sector, people are talking about health budget, and something that government has talked about that because of COVID, health infrastructure is supposed to be increased, and government said we are spending more than 2 lakh crore on health infrastructure. Now, first, let us clear. It is 2 lakh out of 35 lakh. So not that a good number, but this is not the real number. When you look at the allocation to health and education department, let me show you that slide as well. Okay, I hope it will be visible to you. I'm just, yeah, this is Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. I'm just giving you a number. This is Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and look at the total allocation to that ministry. It is just 73 or 900, 74,000 crore. It is not 2 lakh crore. So Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has been allocated just 73 lakh crore. And when you talk of this 2 lakh crore, it includes budget allocated to other department also. Ministry of along with Ministry of Health is water and sanitation and total. So there is no additional increase in the budget even allocated for health. 35,000 crore allocated for vaccine is again part of this. Bad bank, I think Himanshu sir will be talking about that, so I will not get into much detail about that bad bank aspect which government is talking about. One thing that probably need to understand is the disinvestment part. This year, government has proposed 1.75 thousand crore. So 1,75,000 crores are proposed for disinvestment. If you look at the historical data, none of the year we have achieved the target of disinvestment. Every year, target fall short of the requirement. Even the last year, the target was not achieved. So this 1.75 lakh crore seems not so genuine to be possible. And for that, government has proposed something like LIC, IPO and LIC insurance, selling up of 2 public sector bank, 1 general insurance, disinvestment. But the target seems unrealistic to me. Fiscal deficit target, as per budget, FRBM Act, Budget Responsibility, Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act, this fiscal deficit is supposed to be at 3%. Because of COVID, it went up to 6.8%. Government is planning to estimate to be 9.5%, but revised estimate for this year will take it to much beyond level, and this is the major cause of concern. Bringing it back to 3% level is going to be a bigger challenge for the government. Something need to be done, and what you are doing is you are creating fiscal deficit, okay, at the cost of human welfare. That is the biggest cause of concern, which personally I'm not happy about. Health sector, Tushar sir is going to talk about, so I'll skip that part again. Yeah, coming to education sector, I was literally looking at a budget from an education perspective, but when I looked at, personally, I was unhappy because there was nothing for education. New education policy announced by government has mandated that 6% should be for education. And in total budget, education sector, education, health together are not touching upon 6%. So education is getting around 2.5% of the total budget, which is a cause of concern. Secondly, within that education sector, major focus is on capital investment, building up new infrastructure. Not much focus is given on quality of education. Okay, so in strengthening of schools, creating 100 new scenic schools, and in terms of higher education, government has talked about Higher Education Commission of India. This is a long-awaited demand, and discussion is truly going on. There we said instead of multiple regulators, we'll have Higher Education Commission. But of course, we don't know how far government is going to take it up in terms of this. Creating Central University in Leh and Ladakh, grant in some of the cities, which were not that way impressive in terms of creating a real impact on the level of education in Indian scenario. There were few provision related to education, but most of them were for not general education. They were primarily for a scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. Okay, which again need to be looked into when you really understand the impact or budget provision in the education. Yeah, skilling was something which was there but not up to the mark, because when you think of India becoming a superpower, or we want to become a production hub, that skilled manpower is something which is required. Budget has not allocated much of the finance, except 3,000 crore for existing apprenticeship training scheme. So there was nothing there in the budget for the skill development. Rather, Ministry, Nirmala Sitharaman could have kept certain specific incentive provision for skill development and skill training institute, which were utterly missing in the budget side. Okay, in terms of allocation in education sector, only 93,000 crore has been allocated. Only 93,000 has been allocated for the education, which is not a required number. Education sector should be allocated much more budget than what is required. This is the same number probably that we had last year. Rather, if you compare the actual number, it shows a decline. So education budget has rather declined. Okay, so that is again a cause of concern for me as well. So that way, I was not happy with the education budget allocated by government. Overall, when I look at the budget, it looked like government is planning that this year will focus more on the growth, and the growth will come by spending more money on infrastructure. But then, in real sense, growth will not come by spending more or investing more. Growth will come by generating a demand, and that demand comes from the customers, and the customer demand comes when they have money in the pocket. So most of the developed economy of the world, what they did, they have followed a direct cash transfer. Whether you talk of US, you talk of Australia, you talk of Canada, you talk of UK, there was a direct cash transfer. Something like that could have been done for India to generate the demand, and demand itself create an environment where production takes place, employment generation takes place. So still for me, it was not so good budget as an economist. Thank you. Thanks a lot.